All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we'll get straight into it. Um, I will. I'll actually start with commodities today. Just pick up where we left from. We did have a we did have this accumulation on gold, which we did miss. Something like this. Nice return to zone locally, and we did get a return to our range high, as you can see. The only thing I am now looking out for is that we are in a slightly higher time frame accumulation model, and based on that, we did have this TCT within TCT entry, which kind of got confirmed, which sort of did miss it. However, given that I missed it, what I will be doing is looking for a re-entry opportunity, and that re-entry opportunity is going to be around this extreme liquidity point. And should we mitigate this 45-minute OBIF and get a strong break of structure reaction from it to the upside, then I will be looking to long. It will look something like this. Let's say price does something like this, swept, mitigated, long, and you would be looking to long on that breaker structure. You would put your, technically speaking, you would want to put your stops below your mitigation because there's not much reason for price to come lower. And then you can target this range high. However, just be aware that given these 2 points are so close to each other, we can expect something like this. Mitigate this, slowly come back in for some other sort of POI in here, and then only then break structure, around 25th, 26th of March, so some around this time next week. So you can expect some sort of price behavior similar to this on this pair. That is why I do say just be wary of it and pay close attention to the confirmations, as well as how price moves around here, and also knowing that this can be a lower time frame tab 2, but it can also be a higher time a lower time frame model 2, but it can also be a higher time frame model 2 as well. That's kind of my pre-planning here. And that is something as to what I do expect to, not actually expect, but I'm pre-planning a extreme mitigation and an extreme sweep of liquidity. If I did say gold earlier, I do apologize. This is silver I'm talking about. Now, gold is what we did have a potential distribution scalp, which I had set up from the other day, and you can see here price did something very, very weird. It actually swept our Asia low first. Obviously, it had already taken out Asia high, but it had swept Asia low before actually sweeping extreme liquidity. Theoretically speaking, you want price to sweep extreme liquidity, break structure to the downside, and that actually has the effect of pushing price down into either Asia session low or high, depending on where the pair is. So obviously, Asia low wasn't yet to be taken out, therefore you would expect price to actually sweep extreme liquidity first and then move down for that Asia low, which kind of the other way happened. We actually moved down for the Asia low, then swept, and then moved down to hit range low, which is not the best price behavior. It's not what we want, and hence why I didn't take an entry, because it's not the method I practice, it's not the method I preach. Therefore, you just had to see this one out. And then not to mention, as you can see above us, we did have more refined POIs, which also did not get mitigated and they got front ran. So all for more reason to not enter and just sit on your hands for this one. So that is gold. Now that I've explained this to you, I can get rid of this as all price movements have been completed. No longer interested. The only thing not something I would advise, and yeah, I would not be doing and drawing any more ranges thus far. The only thing you could potentially look at is this range. We have our range low here, we have our range high. So maybe we could get something like this, a little wick, nice return to zone, and then a push up into our range high, very possible. But as of now, I'm just watching price action on this rangy environment. I will put my alerts. And then last but not least for the commodities, oil. So I did pre-plan this earlier off camera actually. Beautiful price behaviors here, seeing a accumulation of potential accumulation range being created by a lower time frame accumulation. We have tab 1, 2, and 3. You can see that here on the lower time frame. So yeah, at the time of a live, because during a live market, you would have drawn your range like this. And then you would have had some form of accumulation model with your tap 1, Wyckoff high, tap 2 and 3. A little break of structure would have occurred somewhere in here, and then you could have longed this into the range high, which then in turn created a higher time frame range. So that is always a good thing to see when you can see lower time frame accumulation ranges creating higher time frame accumulation ranges, and vice versa, lower time frame distribution creating higher time frame distribution. I'm just going to move this. Now we're talking. I feel like now we're at the same level of conversation here, which is good. So yeah, here nothing more to do other than wait for a extreme liquidity sweep, as well as extreme demand mitigation. If we just do something like this, sweep this clean break, then I will still long it. We don't necessarily, but if we obviously do both, it is just higher confluence, but it's not always a given, so just be aware there. In terms of supply, yeah, this is like just mitigated. This is a bit too high a time frame of a supply POI, and I do think that it may have been mitigated on the lower time frame. I will also check. Yeah, technically speaking, like there's no point in looking at this because it's not like this range would not be valid in this 4-hour time frame. So you want to be looking at supply POIs that correlate to the same validity which the range is, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at a 30-minute range, you don't want to be looking at a 1-hour supply POI. It makes no sense. So just be mindful of that. You can always yeah. So volume high is being backed by supply bar, as I said. And yeah, and you can already see it's kind of been mitigated on the lower time frame with this week right here. Maybe there might be something we'll find, potentially. That has been mitigated. That has been mitigated. So yeah, it's not really valid as supply. Inside bar. So kind of this whole supply POI is pretty much non-existent. Which is we can remove this off the chart, and yeah, this remains our pre-planning for US oil or oil. Had this potential scalp chart up earlier as well, which got invalidated pretty quickly, as you can see. Took out Asia highs and we ran through Asia lows. So this can go. No real range I'm interested in drawing at the moment here. Kind of just want to see what price does. GBP USD. Just want to double check if we went in a. Yeah, GBP USD, we do have this potential higher time frame accumulation forming as well. We are slowly pushing through this supply POI. Given that, I will be looking for distribution schematics. I have a feeling this supply OVIF here on the 45 got mitigated as well. But we will confirm this. Okay, we do have a 30-minute. Yeah, just ever so slightly. We can technically use this 30-minute. Even this 2-minute, you can see just been mitigated, so it's not going to be a strong supply POI. You can have a chart up, but it just won't be that strong. When you've got an inside bar candle here making this overlapping structure invalid. Anything on the 1 minute? I don't think so. Negative. So yeah, you can have this charted just to see how price reacts, but I'm not expecting a crucial reaction from this OBIF. But at the moment, you can see this distribution model failed. You would have probably had a chart up something like this if you were paying attention. And yeah, we maybe broke some form of structure here, but we ended up making quite a manipulative move, sort of during Asia and pre-London, and then we are now moving back down. But nothing at the moment for me to really pay much attention to in here. Still kind of wanting price to do some form of a slow retracement back down into these liquidity and demand POIs, then break structure back up. But yeah, essentially, like you expect it's good for price to move in a ranging environment around back up to this EQ and then come back down from this, creating this nice push up, mitigating whatever supply was left in here, then a slow move back down, essentially a grinding down, sweeping this liquidity, and then breaking structure, maybe even a little test here, which can always happen, which yeah, in turn would create some form of return to zone like this, which is yeah, pretty high confluence. So we can expect, we're going to plan for something like this to occur, but at the end of the day, if we don't get a confirmation, we're not going to enter. So that is what I'm expecting from GBP USD for the time being. As I said, I would have looked for a distribution here, but it's not really distributive. It's not clean distributive price action at the moment, because it sort of invalidated this potential distribution, then went higher and then moved down. So it's not clean. But yeah, that's it for now for GBP USD. We'll move on. We had a very, very beautiful scalp opportunity, which I just missed entry on earlier as well. This was it right here. So we had our tap 1, Black off low, tap 2, and your tap 3. We could retrace for an entry, which is my ideal situation, but it's not always a given. And yeah, so just to walk you guys through this, what the thought process would have been is that it's almost a 17-hour range, which is always good. Ideally, anything over a 10-hour range is good to trade. Anything shorter than that, I'd be a little bit skeptical and I'd be very, very cautious. Doesn't mean you won't get good opportunities on under 10-hour ranges, but it's just, you just want to be a bit more careful. And then obviously higher time frame, we're kind of approaching these supply areas, so you can see low time frame shorts happen for the time being, but ideally in the long run we do want a sweep of this extreme. But for now, because we have so much supply above us, we can expect some rejections, which is what I was planning for this scalp, which I just missed. So yeah, this was the distribution model. I did have break of structure, so I technically missed 2 break of structures. So I missed this thing that's valid on 2 minute. Yep. So I missed this 5 minute. It's definitely not valid on 10 minute. I can tell you off the bat by looking at it. Yeah, not valid on 10 minute. I missed this 5 minute, but then there was an opportunity for a more refined area on the 2 minute up here. So you could have, if you were paying attention to this, you could have actually entered right here. That would have been your optimal entry. Yeah. Upon this front ran of this supply above us, and this would be your target. A clean 7.58 RR scalp, but given we missed that, ideally I would like a very, very slow pullback in here, leaving a lot of sell side liquidity. And upon mitigating this supply, we break structure and then we can kind of flush down. So that would be, that's kind of what I'm pre-planning for here. And yeah, you can even sort of look at this with this, with our return to zone, which is fairly clean. Very clean. So yeah, if anyone caught this, well done. Just stick to the plan and let it play out. Otherwise, we might, don't really think so, but you might get a re-entry opportunity up here. But I feel like that ship sort of sailed. If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. And we have already begun London, so I can expect London to take out Asia and continue to move down. That is it for AUD USD. Let's move on to USD CAD. What is happening here? Interesting potential looking, sort of looks like a PO3. Higher time frame wise, we did mitigate this. We have some nice lows below us, but it is quite a bit of a aggressive move up into this range deviation. Demand wise, not much there. As of now, you can kind of use this as a potential ranging environment just to see what happens. Ideally, I would love to see something like this. Mitigate that, come back near EQ, sweep all extremes and flush down. And even complete this this range and go all the way to the range low. That would be nice. And yeah, and then even in turn mitigate this this demand blast. That would be a really smooth playbook opportunity, but we will be patient and see what happens. So that's kind of it for, I'm going to leave this drawing up for now. Why not? Let's move on GBP, JPY. Should there have been any supply POIs in here, they have been mitigated. Keyword should there have. Yeah, we can see price is potentially forming some form of topping structure here. Have we confirmed a range yet though? I will allow that. Yeah, as of now, I kind of just want to wait and see what price decides to do. It's not the cleanest looking range for now. Give me a minute, guys.
That last few minutes might have been a little confusing. You'd like to know who I was talking to, wouldn't you? I'll tell you what she looks like. Might find it interesting. She's beautiful.
Sorry, that's a quick interruption. My apologies. But yeah, in terms of GBP JPY, nothing at the moment. Kind of just want to be a bit more patient and see how this plays out. No clean supply in here either. That is worth noting.
You still listening, gentlemen? She always wears a white shirt.
I'm just trying to see if there's something in here, but it's just too low time frame for me to take serious.
You still listening, gentlemen?
Technically, we have this supply chain going off this.
That last few minutes might have been a little confusing. I'll tell you what she looks like. Might find it interesting.
But yeah, now for the time being, I'm just going to be patient and see how price plays out.
You've got a good figure, but in a calm sort of way.
All right, GBP NZD.
You still listening, gentlemen?
Can kind of see a compression forming there. Yeah, obviously, long run, we're still expecting a return to the bottom of this range. That is my higher time frame expectational order flow. However, yeah, as of now, we're kind of getting a compression forming. It's not really the cleanest. Yeah, just choppy price behavior really at the moment. Nothing really to dig too deep into here. If anything, you can kind of label this as a ranging environment. I will set my alerts to see which way price decides to go. And yeah, in terms of GBP NZD, that's kind of it at the moment. Technically speaking, yeah, this is valid for now, but technically speaking, if we get a move back down, this is more of a realistic range. As of this point, we are technically downtrending, so this would be a better range pull. So we'll wait and see what happens. Euro GBP. We're still technically compressing here. Something like that. Now, in terms of this potential accumulation model here, it ended up being a very, very low time frame PO3 schematic, which I will never ever trade. So I will already invalidate this like so. And yeah, we are still in a bit of an EQ no man's land, so I kind of just want to see which way price decides to go. Not too, yeah, you wouldn't want to be really taking any trades in here. It's a very low probability. Moving on. This was something I liked. Asia low has been taken. Asia high in a very, very nice spot. we might be able to scalp something in here. And in terms of extreme liquidity, this is our extreme liquidity target. Do we have extreme demand? Not really. Yeah, not at all. So we kind of just have to go off this extreme liquidity POI. Now, context-wise, which is what you want to always focus on, like, yeah, we're in very much higher time frame range premium. We do expect some form of pullback, which we're kind of getting now, but we do still have quite a bit of supply above us, which can be mitigated. So be aware of that, and it's also to know that you have formed this beautifully looking accumulation. So you're kind of in a pro-accumulative environment. Yes, there is demand below us, which can get mitigated, but given we have already accumulated so nicely here, I'm not too... I don't really cling on too much to this being mitigated right now, because we can simply do something like create this lower, bear with me, create this lower time frame accumulation, which is successful. We hit range high, we make another deviation, another lower high like this, and then we come back down, form some sort of accumulation here, and then we run this all the way back up. So something like this can happen, and I wouldn't say it's very, very high probability, but it can happen, and I won't be surprised if it does. So this low time frame accumulation range at the moment is still worth trading. Just wanting to see if there's a more refined POI below us, which I don't think there is. Yeah, not really. This 2-minute OBIF does absolutely nothing, and it's also not really valid because you don't have 2 consecutive bullish candles above us, or to our left, sorry. Sorry, 3-minute. However, I will chart, yeah, very, very refined. And yeah, I'm not really expecting price to come back down. Not at all. If we get a nice sweep here with a strong break of structure, I am longs this. So we will keep this play on alert. Euro NZD. Ran through this demand. This can go. Yeah, I'm going to sort of remove this range and focus more so on this refined one. This was. Yeah, this was obviously where we got previously stopped out. I am still looking for these POIs. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on, actually. If we come back down in here, we could look for a potential accumulation scalp into this distribution. If we do something like this, we can definitely look to long that, but wait and see for the time being. I'll set an alert just in case. Moving on. We have this potentially unicorn setup at the moment. As I said, I'm not too sure if we will get another sweep of this extreme liquidity. I don't think so. As of now, we're kind of just we are leaving some nice liquidity lows, some nice sell side blowups, but not really much to look for in here. USD JPY. Contextually speaking, yeah, just based on this, I feel like I'm gonna have to get rid of this. And this will be the range, contextually speaking. Like it just looks cleaner as well. You're never gonna really get an environment where you're gonna have just a borderline smaller accumulation or distribution range just inside a bigger one. You're always going to have either the big one or nothing. And yeah, going for this little one here isn't really the wise thing to do. And yeah, you can expect this range to become a distribution model on a much higher time frame where we get something like this. So keep an eye out for this. Therefore, technically speaking, you can look for accumulations. Technically speaking, you're going to get them, not necessarily, but you can look for them. And then, yeah, we may have just had one. We have left behind a really nice POI here. Which I would really like to see price revisit. If we get overlapping, oh, I was going to say if we get overlapping, even better. We get overlapping. Right there. This is very, very high probability to get a reaction from. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for now. Asia High has not yet been taken. Do you want to... Yeah, if we get a SFP here of our volume area EQ, then we can get a potential return back down mitigation of this market maker demand and a rotation back up. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, not really clean supply above us, which is pretty good. It is pretty good. It is to note, we did distribute here quite nicely. But I do like this. All right, next. AUD CAD. Just off the bat, there might be something here. We'll check to see what POIs we have. Obviously on lower time frame it has been mitigated. This is our extreme liquidity. Stay with me guys, I'm actually going to move my desk to standing. Hopefully I don't interfere with the stream. Now we're talking. Oh yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, obviously on the lower time frame this supply has been mitigated, but we do have this find area here with the supply just above it, which isn't the most convenient, but as always we're going to wait and see what reactions we get. Contextually speaking, contextually speaking, we are somewhat in a potential distributive environment, but technically we're in a cumulative environment because you have this here. Which obviously completed itself, so you can expect some form of follow through, but we do have key supply just above us, so if we are too short, it's got to be very, very higher confluence, and we're very close to this supply, so we just have to be cautious of that. Range is hanging around 20 hours, so range wise, not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah, just be patient and see if the only thing that will make me want to enter here is if we get a very slow climb up into this supply POI with a very strong reaction. Otherwise, if you don't, I am not interested. Yeah. We'll look on NZCAT, our last pair. Could be something here, potentially. I just want to see the context again, and context is a confirmed accumulation, so be careful there. We've also just ran through supply, so plenty of reasons to be cautious. Did we mitigate this? This is going to be interesting. Or just... Or did we front run it? No, we did mitigate it. And we've actually formed a nice potential supply chain here. My alert on. I don't mind this, but like in terms of range and efficiency, very inefficient. But there's just, you've got demand here backed by probably a volume area low, I'm going to assume. Not quite. Volume area low is up here, so not quite actually. I stand corrected. If you do decide to take anything, you can always have this set here, just as a TP1. Yeah, I'm kind of going to wait and see what happens here, and be very patient. But yeah, a great deal of range and efficiency. Yeah, that's it for now, guys. I will leave you with this. And yeah, thank you once again for listening and viewing. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I will answer them. And yeah, thank you once again, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.